assault and batteries, but my trunk stay ever ready. Yeah. Assault and battery, if you scared, you never ready. Yeah.
Alright, so with WrestleMania just a few weeks away, and Monday Night Raw, in my opinion, that didn't really live up to expectations for a Madison Square Garden show with a WrestleMania build kind of attached to it. Too much talking going on, but there were a couple segments that the talking really sparked a lot of interest, and it really made people wonder where they're really going, bringing certain people in and having certain mentions of certain someone that doesn't really get mentioned too often. But before that, if you're new to this channel, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. A lot of WrestleMania videos coming up in the next couple weeks, as well as going forward. At least 2 to 3 videos a week to expect, day in the life, vlogs, unboxings. So be sure to check out the future videos coming soon. So having Cody Rhodes come out first was a little bit shocking. I didn't really expect to see him on Raw, considering he's a SmackDown guy. But having Raw being from Madison Square Garden, you knew it was going to be some special appearances and surprises. The person that came out next definitely was a surprise, and that's Stephanie McMahon. Her coming out and kind of being the voice of reason, saying that she has to kind of explain to Cody that the Viper, the Randy Orton that you're dealing with, the '09 unhinged, like crazy man, is something that Cody can't beat. And they kind of went back and forth, and it was very intriguing, in my opinion. They had you kind of hooked, and you want to know where they were going, because it was very random for Stephanie to come out. And I know that she has history with Randy Orton, her and Triple H, go leading up to WrestleMania 25. And they've mentioned that in the promo, that things Randy Orton's done, a lot of it has to do with Stephanie. But there came a point in the promo where she was comparing Cody to Dusty, and she capped off that little sentence saying that Cody's nothing like his father. That's when it kind of like, man, are they really going to mention Vince? Because they've mentioned him a couple times before during the CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, more notably. But when Cody said that she is nothing like her dad as well, I'm like, damn. Like that was like hint number one. And Randy Orton, he made that phone call, and a lot of people are speculating who he was on the phone with. And you're hearing a lot of Bob Orton, you're hearing a lot of Ted DiBiase Jr., you're hearing Kevin Owens, and now you're hearing Vince McMahon. And he has tweeted that wrestling has more than one royal family. So you know it's going to be someone that has kind of a legacy in wrestling. With that being said, the crowd reacted perfectly to it. And I'm like, damn, are they really going to go forward with this like Vince McMahon, like hinting stuff? And then Paul Heyman came out later on in the show, and he talked about how he's the last promoter standing, hinting at that Bischoff is gone and Vince is gone, and ECW is kind of the last, promoter from the company standing from the 90s. And I'm like, that's 2 references of Vince McMahon, and kind of referencing him but not referencing him. I don't know what's going on, but then as the story kind of builds, and with considering that TKO and WWE is really pulling out all the stops, trying to make this WrestleMania as memorable as like the last year, and more importantly, more memorable than WrestleMania 40, which I think what they're reaching for. What better way to shock people and swerve people is to have Vince McMahon come back and maybe help Cody lose, help Randy beat Cody, making Cody lose, or like vice versa, having Cody win and just have that heel turn kind of really come forward. That's kind of hinting at the promo as well, where Stephanie was saying that Cody needs to think like Randy, so he has to be unhinged, he has to be a viper almost. What better way is, and I think a lot of people forget that Cody coming into the company was Vince's hand-picked guy. So it all makes sense, the story's there. And so you can go that way, or you can go a way where Randy Orton was always a Vince McMahon guy. He represents what the ruthless aggression in the late 2010s, the late 2009 into 2010, that was all Randy Orton, and a byproduct of like the Vince McMahon era. So now you have like the old school versus a new school, and I think there's different ways you can go with it, but Vince does make a connection in that, and I think that's what makes the story more intriguing, that something's going to happen during that main event. Someone's going to interfere, someone's going to cost someone the match. If Vince were to show up at WrestleMania, he's not going to get booed. I think he'll get booed if he helps Cody win. But it won't be like a go away heat. It'll be like, damn, we really expected like a change. I think people are really sick of Cody Rhodes being on top, and they want like a change when it comes to the top guys. But if you have Randy Orton aligned with Vince McMahon, even though it's like a heel moment, like an Austin Rock from WrestleMania 17 where Vince helped Austin win, that's the kind of pop you're going to get. And I can see everyone going nuts. And just thinking about it like gives me goosebumps, because like Vince has been out of sight, out of mind, and all that stuff that's going on. They brought back Brock Lesnar, so what makes Vince McMahon kind of out of the picture. I think it'll be a good business move, honestly, and it'll be something that no one expected. And I think that's what WWE and TKO are kind of trying to go for, is to swerve you and make moments that you won't expect. In my opinion, go for it. And it's going to be a moment that I think will be talked about from years and years to come. Considering that last year's WrestleMania, night one, it ended great, but the payoff, like the aftermath, just flopped completely, having Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins. So I think this is their redemption for last year, to have a more memorable payoff for a swerve. So that's the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.